course, of the three great Alabama icons, Bear Bryant, Ronnie Van Zant, and George Wallace. And Ronnie Van Zant didn't actually come from Alabama. He was from Florida. He played in a band called Leonard Skinner. And in the early 1970s, they got their start recording some songs in my hometown at a little studio called Muscle Shoals Sound. And they met some fine folks there who weren't caught up in all the racial hatred and prejudice of the day. And they wrote a song about it, and it was called Sweet Home Alabama. And I gotta be honest with you, I don't really care if I ever hear the song again, but at the same time, I'm awful glad they wrote it. Such is the duality of the Southern thing. Now, Bear Bryant wasn't from Alabama either, but he wore a really cool checkered hat, and he knew how to win football games. And there ain't a goddamn thing in my home state more lovable than a man who knows how to win at football. Now, I didn't grow up liking football. I was one of them pussy boys, and I kind of avoided it at all costs. But nonetheless, when Bear Bryant would come to town, he knew there would be parades. And of course, George Wallace was the racist governor from 1962 until about 1986, more or less, give or take a term or two, when he was not excluded for one reason or another, including one when he ran his wife, and she won by a landslide. And George Wallace is best known as a segregationist voice in the South, standing in the doorways of schools and keeping the little black children from getting to enroll in the schools. And I'm going to diverge off of that story and tell y'all another story real quick that means a little bit more to me, because I wrote that one a long time ago, and this one just happened the other day. I was raised partly by my grandmama, may she rest in peace, and my great uncle, who is now about to be 89 years old. His name's George A. Johnson. I wrote a song called Sands of Iwo Jima about him, and he was born in 1920. And I don't know how much history y'all are into, but think about it, 1920. Women had been allowed to vote for about 6 months when he was born. He was a child of the Great Depression, and he was a young man sent over to fight during World War II. And he's a good man, and he always did the best he could, and he wasn't particularly caught up in all the racist bullshit of people of his era from the South, but nonetheless, he was born in 1920 in North Alabama, and it's just the goddamn way it goes. Nonetheless, my great uncle, who's going to be 89 years old on May 26th of this year, went to the voting booth in November, and he cast his ballot for a black man for the President of the United States. Such is the duality of the Southern thing.